Two wheels in the open road. I got the throttle wide open. Feel my pace. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination, no end in sight. Just me in the open road, riding into the moonlight.
When Bentley was small, we noticed that there were several different things that he was doing differently. When doctors and specialists continue to tell you what is wrong with your child, you are in such a dark place. The therapists at UCP are amazing. They brought inspiration. They brought hope. Bentley has a fantastic relationship with UCP. And if we can continue this together, Bentley will be unstoppable.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac, and never feel powerless.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. Stand of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fender Truck Series Scoops Ice Cream 200 here at Michigan International Speedway. We have got a whole host of trucks here. They're going to put on a fantastic show tonight. Joining with me, as always, on Wednesday night in the booth is my good friend Curtis Young. How you doing tonight, Curtis?
Doing good, Robert. Just excited to be here at Michigan tonight. One of my personal favorite tracks on the sim. Round number 19 here for these drivers for points racing, closing in on the chase. This is the fourth to last points race before the chase. We do have 6 more weeks before the chase actually starts on September 20th. And that includes 2 non-points races. Be back here every Wednesday night. So, yeah, closing in on the chase. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty for some of these guys that are sitting outside of a chase position and just looking to get that win and lock himself in and not have to be in on points, really.
Yes, sir, exactly. These drivers have been fighting all year long so far to get themselves either a win or up in the top 10 in points. I think, speaking of point standings, Curtis, you do have the top 10.
Yeah, sitting at the top of the board right now is the 51 truck of James Ross. He's got 7 wins on the season, and he's got a 33-point gap to his next competitor, which is the number 6 of Gerald Campbell. Sitting in third place is the 66 of Jack Watts. Fourth is the 33 of Vernon Markheim. Gary Sexton, the 17, rounds out the top 5. Tyler Chalk sitting in 6th in the point standings right now. Andrew Kessler 7th. Judd Danielson sitting 8th right now. William Locklear just 1 point behind him, sitting in 9th position, and Mark Jackson has crawled his way up into the top 10 here. He's only ran 14 of the 18 races, so a little bit of a disadvantage for Mark, but he does have 2 wins and 206 laps led, so always a threat to win that number 3 machine of Mark Jackson.
Yes, he always is a threat to win. Right now, it's looking like in qualifying, the fastest truck we're looking at is the 89 of Gio Bramante. I think this actually could be his birthday. He is actually doing a lot of real racing in the super late models around the southeast. We're fortunate to have him in our truck race tonight. What are you expecting from this race tonight?
Well, Michigan is one of the widest surfaces, really, that you can go on oval track, on the oval side of things here on iRacing. So one of the better tracks for side-by-side racing. You can go 3 wide pretty easily. The track is really slick here today, 103 degrees Fahrenheit, so that bottom groove is it can become useless at times, and so that kind of takes that out of the equation. But I'm expecting to see long green flag runs here and lots of side-by-side close racing and hopefully some green flag pit stops.
Yes, that's exactly what we're hoping to see. This is going to be a very exciting race brought to you by All Pro Broadcasting fans. Make sure if you're watching this race on your device, you click the subscribe button, no matter where you're watching it. That way you get all the alerts for our free pizza giveaway. We're going to be going over in just a few minutes exactly how you can win that free pizza. Matter of fact, I'll talk about it right now. We got another minute and a half of qualifying. The way the free pizza giveaway works, fans, is the first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race before halfway. There's 100 laps tonight, so that will be lap 50. And only pick one driver, fans. You might want to wait a while before you make your pick, or you can make your pick right away. But if you make one pick now, another pick on the 10th lap, and another pick on the 45th lap, I'm not going to be able to count the picks. So take your time. Be smart, make one pick. The first fan to actually correctly predict the winner of this race by lap 50 will win a free, large, 3-topping, carry-out only pizza from any Domino's store in the United States of America.
Just under 45 seconds here left in qualifying, and it looks like James Ross is actually top Gio Bramante's qualifying time, and he did it on his 2nd lap. So he ran a 39.445 on his first lap. Gio ran a 39.435, and so it was real close, 10 1/1000ths of a second there, and James Ross ran a 39.416 on his 2nd lap. So looks like James Ross is going to start from the pole on this one. Birthday boy will sit outside pole. as qualifying comes to a close here. Robert's just going over a couple things with these drivers. We'll get set to go down the starting grid here. Drivers are getting buckled up, and starting from the pole here tonight, it's going to be the number 51 of James Ross, your points leader. So looking to have another solid run here tonight. Number 89 of Giovanni Bromanti, he's going to start to the outside in P number 2. Looks like Jeff T. Martin's a little bit late here getting to the grid, but he's starting from the 3rd position, and Blake Griffith to his outside starting P4. Tyler Chalk in the 07 starting from the 5th position tonight. Gary Sexton starting in 6th in his number 17 machine. Jack Watts will start behind him. 81 of Shane Parrish to Jack's outside in his number 81 Serve Pro machine, and Ralph Vandervorst sits 9th. William Locklear will start tonight in 10th place. 45 of Sean Kalis starting in 11th. David Wright to his outside in P12 with Judd Danielson and Gerald Campbell behind them, 13th and 14th positions. Eric Stanford in his number 24 machine will roll off P15 tonight. William Davis to his outside in the number 11. Owens Well Service Chevrolet will roll off in 16th. Andrew Kessler starting in the Andrew Kessler will start in the 17th position tonight. Vernon Margheim rolls off to his outside in P18. Ray Richard in the number 44 starting in 19th tonight. Mark Jackson in the number 3 starting in 20th. Chad Payne starting 21st. James Somke to his outside starting 22nd. That will round out your drivers that took a qualifying time. Drivers to tag on to the end of the field not taking a qualifying time are the number 72 of Ivan Garcia and the number 73 of Jeremy Crandall. So look to see what kind of progress those guys can make throughout the race tonight. And the 85 of Judd Danielson, looks like he actually has a new paint scheme here tonight. Heartland Tire.
Yes, sir, Curtis. We got a couple of drivers with new paint schemes. That 85 machine of Judd Danielson does have a new paint on his truck. Heartland Tire. We've also got a new paint on our James Ross has also got a new paint on his truck tonight. We'll definitely be covering these as the race progresses. Any last thoughts?
Interesting fact about 51 of the new paint scheme on James Ross's truck. I heard that his daughter painted it. I'm not sure how old she is, but I'm sure James let her play with the iRacing color schemes and whatnot. And pink and blue is what it came out with. A little bit of purple. So I like it. Gonna start from the pole tonight and see if we can bring that pink machine to victory lane.
I tell you what, Curtis, they're getting ready to come to the start zone here as the Ford Mustang GT pace car is about to pull off. I'll let you take this start of the race, and let's do it in style with Crank It Up for the first couple of laps here from our great broadcaster Michael D'Amico and All Pro Broadcasting.
Pace car pulls off. James Ross gets on the loud pedal as soon as the pace car pulls off. Green flag is in the air for the Scooters Ice Cream 200. James Ross going to lead him down into turn 1. Gio Bromanti going to follow in behind them, and Jeff T. Martin and Blake Griffith looks like they're side by side battling for the 3rd position, and we'll get to that Crank It Up.
Welcome back, race fans, as our leader goes across the start-finish line of James Ross in that number 51, followed by Gio Monte. You are watching the Scoops Ice Cream of Viera, Florida. Scoops Ice Cream, making family traditions one scoop at a time, live here on All Pro Broadcasting. Curtis, what are you seeing in the front of the field?
Oh, lots of great racing everywhere. Tyler Chalk and Jeff T. Martin were side by side for that third position for quite a while. Gary Sexton was side by side with Blake Griffiths, I do believe. He got clear of him. Now it's Shane Parrish trying to get by the number 2 machine. Jack Watts looking to get a run behind them. So these guys are still bumper to bumper to bumper everywhere you can look, and it just battles all around the racetrack right now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I think, Curtis, the paint job on that number 51 Toyota Tundra, it's a peak paint job. From what I understand, James Ross's daughter designed this paint all by herself. He loved it. Who wouldn't? And he's got it on the truck. Ragu Peak Toyota 51 in the lead, dominating right where he left off the last race.
Back in the 13th position, Judd Danielson side by side with the number 166 of Ralph Vandervorst. He looks to get clear coming to the stripe. He grabs onto that 12th position. So Judd Danielson moving up a spot, and William Davis in the number 11 getting below the 166 there in turn 1 and 2. Looks like he's going to clear him before they even hit turn 2, try and get a run on that number 85 machine of Judd Danielson.
Yes, in front of him, I think you might have mentioned, we've got Gerald Campbell and that veteran of foreign war. No scars, no story. Chevy Silverado. He was running comfortably in 11th position. Looks like Gerald started 14th, so he's already moved up a 2 or 3 positions, which is no surprise at all, Curtis.
And Eric Stanford is looking below Ralph Vandervorst now, so not sure what's happening with that 166, if he's saving a bit more tires than everybody else here, if he got a little bit of damage or just scrubbed his tires off or something. But Andrew Kessler is passing him as well, so a lot of these guys are moving up past the 166 machine, and not sure if he's having some problems or what.
Yes, sir, fans, not missing anything up front. James Ross is leading. He's got a good, healthy, almost 10 truck lead advantage over our second place Gio Monte and that ageless Toyota Tundra. Running in third place, we have the, looks like the number 07 of Tyler Chalk. He's in that Southeast Motorsports Toyota Tundra. He's always a threat to win one of these races. Behind him in fourth, we have Jeff T. Martin and that A-Top Gamers Call of Duty Chevrolet Silverado. And he's getting a mirror full right now of the Hexcam driven 17 Toyota Tundra of Gary Sexton. Looks like Gary started back in 6th. He's gained 1 position. He's looking to get around Jeff Martin any way he can. Almost gives him a little bump there on the back bumper as they go into the corner. I tell you what, Curtis, these trucks at these speeds are pretty much single file here. These trucks are trying to use the draft as best they can on this huge 2-mile oval. Very, very smooth surface here at Michigan to get any kind of advantage they can to make these passes.
And Tyler Chalk is, he's trying to use the draft on the number 89 of Gio Bromanti, try and get a run inside of him, and I'm sure that's what James Ross wants to see, is side-by-side battle in his mirror while he drives away. So it looks like the 07 is going to duck to the inside into turn number 3. Battle for the second position. Tyler Chalk gets a big run on the bottom off of turn number 4. He clears the number 89, and Tyler Chalk is going to move up into that number 2 position and set his sights on the lead. So see if he can reel James Ross in at all. The gap right now as it sits 1.1 seconds. So we will see if he can close that gap at all. James Ross is known for his tire saving abilities, and 2 guys behind him are quite a number of years younger than he is. So we'll see if they can make their way back up there. But it looks like Jeff T. Martin has actually got to the back bumper of that number 89 machine as well. Gary, and he has a mirror full of Gary Sexton, as you said before. Gio Bromanti throwing a little bit of a block there on the 15 truck of Jeff T. Martin. Kind of forced him to go up to the outside and closes the door again. Jeff T. Martin gives him a little bit of a shot into turn number 1 there.
Just a love tap saying I'm here. I would like to get around you. I think I'm a little bit quicker than you are at this point in the race. And Gio Bramante is going to have to make a decision here in a few minutes. Let him by or keep battling hard. This is definitely early.
Yeah, and you got to be a little bit careful bumping and grinding here at Michigan, because you need as much aerodynamics as you can get. And I'm not sure if there's a little bit of damage on the looks like there's maybe a little bit of damage on the back of that number 3 or the number 89 machine of Giovanni Bramante now.
Yeah, Shane Harris is in that number 81 Surf Pro Fire and Water Cleanup and Restoration Surf Pro Toyota Tundra. He is up to the 6th position now. He started 8th, so he's made up a couple of spots. Behind him we have Blake Griffin, and that Align. He's got another sponsor on this number 2, beautiful painted Chevrolet Silverado, HSM Solutions Chevy Silverado. So he's made his way up a little bit as well. Actually, Blake's dropped back 3 positions. My bad there, Curtis. We got Jack Watts in the number 66 Southeast Motorsports Chevy Silverado is in the 8th position. 9th, we have got our good friend William Locklear in the Go Gold Chevrolet Silverado. He's up to 9th. And rounding out your top 10 at this point, we have the number 42 Triad Computer Works Chevrolet Silverado, another beautiful paint job on that truck. So David Wright is in 10th position. He's picked up a couple of spots as well.
James Ross continues to drive the way at the head of the field. We'll see what the gap is this time at the stripe. Looks like it's going to be 1.5 seconds. So Tyler Chalk has fell back another 0.4 of a second, and I think these guys might be about halfway through their fuel run. I'm not sure. We got a 100-lap race here tonight, and if they happen to go green flag for the entire race, knock on wood, I'm not sure if they can make it to that magic number 33 and just make it on 2 pit stops. So it'll be close. I know that for sure. I think they can probably make it between 28 to 33 laps, and if they can, you're going to see a lot of these guys start pitting maybe around 20 to 25. 20 would be a short pit. 25 would be evening out all their runs at 25 laps apiece. So we'll see what these guys do. Got about 5 to 10 laps before we're going to see if we think they can make it to 33. But I really don't think it's in the cards for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we got an interesting comment in the chat room right now. We're going to be looking at the number 3 Mark Jackson truck. He is back there in 18th position. He is the master of saving fuel. Started 20th, he's up to 18th. We've got his fiance, wife, Kristen Phillips, saying, hello everybody, I'm watching with Mama Patty, Mark Jr., and Angel. Mama Patty's pick is James Ross, believe it or not. Mark Jr.'s pick is Mark Jackson. And she says her pick is going to be Blake Griffin. So these 3 have already made their pick, fans. Obviously, you don't have to pick your family member to win one of these races, but I tell you, it wouldn't surprise me at all, Curtis and fans, if Mark Jackson pulls off another fuel strategy win tonight. Right now, like I said, he is running in 18th. And we got a long way to go here, and we'll have to check with the drivers and see what kind of fuel mileage they were getting in practice and happy hour to see if they can make it on one stop. Like you said earlier, Curtis, I do not think that'll be the case.
Yeah, it would be 2 stops versus 3. So either they'd be pitting on 33 and 66-ish, or 25, 50, and 75 would be the 2 strategies. But you know, Mark Jackson, he's always fast, and he's back there running in the 18th position, a little bit uncharacteristic. So not sure if this just isn't one of his best tracks, or if he is indeed back there trying to save as much fuel as he can and cut 1 pit stop out. The tire fall off here at the end of the run is probably about 1 to 2 seconds. I know after about 20 laps it's around a second and a half tire fall off. So I'm not sure if that strategy would be enough to win the race at the rate the other guys would be driving versus how much slower you would be going. But I'm sure Mark Jackson has done the math if that's the strategy he's on, and he's pretty confident that he'd be able to get the job done. So he's still moved up 3 positions, up into the 17th position, working on the back of Ray Richer and the number 98 of Andrew Kessler there. So Just another thing, I think he's got a special addition to his paint scheme tonight. I'm not sure if he's normally run that. It says in memory of, I'm trying to get that right, in memory of Nicky 22, so I can't get a really good shot at it in my view, but I think that's a special addition to Mark's truck here tonight.
Yes, sir. Over the top paints puts together some incredible paint jobs, and yes, that is in memory. We definitely are very grateful for him and his family, and we've been praying with them. That loss anniversary came up a few weeks ago. We got some 3-wide battling right here. Back in 12th position, we've got Eric Stanford, the number 12 Pepsi truck in the middle. Looks like on the outside we've got the 85 of Judd Danielson with his new sponsor, and we've got the 11 of William Davis. They were 3 wide there for a minute, kind of getting it cleared out. It looks like they're still 2 wide as they are making headway here. Who's going to lift going into this corner? Judd and Eric Stanford both have a good head of steam, and Eric is going to try to make that pass on William Davis coming out of the corner.
And battle for the second position. Gio Bromanti has got the run on the inside of the 07 of Tyler Chalk. They've drag race down the backstretch, and it looks like Gio Bromanti pulls the exact move that Chalk did to get by him the first time. Tyler Chalk can't quite pull the crossover out of turn 4, so move Gio Bromanti back up into that second position, and the gap 1.9 seconds, so it's not growing drastically, but I don't really expect James Ross to slow down much, and these guys are going to have to do something on the pit strategy game to try and make up some time, I think.
And making up time is what they'll have to do. I heard a famous driver last week say, he was asked by a reporter, how are you going to make a position from your starting position in the race today? A good friend, actually not a good friend, I'm a good fan of his, Kevin Harvick said on pit road. So here in Michigan today in the Denton Fenders Truck Series, which is the Scoops Ice Cream 200, brought to you live on All Pro Broadcasting. That is where mistakes can happen, and if you have a flawless pit stop, including pit entry, pit exit, right strategy, that's where a lot of positions will be made up today, Curtis.
Yeah, it's a fine line between speeding into the pits and just hitting your marks perfectly and getting in there at 60 miles, or I think that's what the pit speed limit is here, 55 miles per hour maybe is actually what it is, and so getting slowed down to that, it's not as slow as a lot of these other tracks, it's a little bit easier, but you gotta really hit your braking point, and if you don't, it can spell disaster under green flag pit stops. It's better to go a little bit slower and make sure that you don't mess it up and get a penalty, but at the same time you can lose so much time by taking it easy going in there. So battle up in front of Gary Sexton still for the 3rd and 4th position. Actually, it looks like Shane Parrish has cleared the 07 of Tyler Chalk, so Tyler Chalk looks like he's burned his tires up a little bit here on lap 22.
Yes, sir. And a quick update on the fuel strategy. I did hear varying reports. Some teams said they could go 25 to 27 laps. A couple of other teams said they could go as many as 29 or 30 laps. So that's going to be very interesting to see who's going to play what strategy on pit road to make up the positions that they may need before the end of the race.
Oh, a big move by Blake Griffith to the inside of the number 66 of Jack Watts. Just barely got clear of the 42 machine of David Wright on the outside, and then threaded the needle on the inside, and looks like he's almost made that pass on the number 66 of Jack Watts. They'll drag race to the line.
Yes, these drivers are side by side as they cross the start-finish line. Blake Griffin the 6th, and it looks like Jack Watts will fall back to 7th. And David Wright is also going to be trying to make a move here on the 66 of Jack Watts, Tonight, David Wright is driving, like we said, that Triad Computer Work Chevrolet Silverado, having a great run so far.
And Gerald Campbell has came down pit lane, so I really don't think these guys can make it 33 laps on fuel. Caution is out, it looks like. The 98 of Andrew Kessler goes around. They were 3 wide in turn number 2.
Yes, fans, give us just a second. We'll get the replay pulled up real quick.
And Ray Richard, the number 98 of Andrew Kessler, and the 15 of Jeff T. Martin. They were 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. And it looks like the 98 of Andrew Kessler just might have pushed up a little bit and just pit maneuvered himself off the 15. Takes a long ride on his driver's side door and pops back down on his side. Those trucks both are going to have heavy damage, I do believe.
Yes, looks like he was just trying to clear the 15. Not quite able to get it done there. There was just very, very minimal contact, if any. I'm looking right now to see exactly what looks like happened here. Were there any other trucks involved in that one, Curtis, from your viewpoint?
No, I think it was just the 98 of Andrew Kessler and the 15 of Jeff T. Martin. And, I mean, Andrew Kessler wasn't having the best night, but unfortunate for the number 15 of Jeff T. Martin. He qualified in the 3rd position. Looked like he had a really strong truck and maybe a contender to win here tonight. And, I think that's really going to put a damper on his chances. But everybody coming down pit lane right now, we'll see how that works out for the number 6 of Gerald Campbell. I think he might have been the only one who came down pit lane. I think he was probably able to stay on the lead lap and get himself the lead here, I think, is what's going to happen. But looks like everybody gets into their pit boxes perfectly. The jack comes up at basically the exact same time on the 51 and the 89 truck, so we'll see if James Ross can hold off the 89 coming out of pit lane. He will be able to, and the 81 truck of Shane Parrish is going to move up and grab onto that 2nd position from the 89 truck of Gio Bromanti. And it looks like Gary Sexton is actually going to grab the 3rd position off Gio. So Gio loses 2 positions on that pit stop. Gary Sexton gains 2 positions. Shane Parrish gains a position. Tyler Chalk looks like he might have lost 1 position as well. So
yeah, that was a drag race off of pit road between the 89 of Gio Bramante and Tyler Chalk in that 07. Looks like the position will go to Gio Bramante in that Aegis Toyota Tundra. And that's going to give all of these drivers a chance to catch their breath, get a drink of water. Like you just said, most of these drivers took on 4 brand new Goodyear Racing Eagles and 2 cans of Sunoco racing fuel. So this restart is going to be very interesting in here in just a minute. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that stayed out. What are you seeing there, Curtis?
I think, I'm not sure what Ivan Garcia was doing. It looked like he maybe thought about coming down pit lane there, but changed his mind. I think he's just coming around to lead this lap. He wasn't scored on the leading that last lap, so bonus point to the number 72 Ty Dawn Machine of Ivan Garcia. I'm sure we'll see him pull it down pit lane next time by.
Yes, that might be what he does. He also might decide to stay out. He's obviously going to get that bonus point for leading the lap. He obviously is going to need some fuel as we're on lap 27 now. And that gives us another chance real quick, fans, to remind you how you can claim and win that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. If you're watching on All Pro Broadcasting, we do remind and ask you to click the chat button. That way you get all the alerts on your phone or your device for all upcoming All Pro Broadcasting Domino's TYJ Racing League races, which you can find every Wednesday night and every Thursday night. We have our Premier Xfinity Thursdays and our Top Shelf Cup alternating on Thursdays. You do want to tune in next week on Thursday night. Tomorrow night for the Top Shelf Domino's TYJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Series race. It's going to be live at Daytona International Speedway. But how you win that free pizza, fans? The first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race before lap 50, which is halfway point, and don't pick more than one driver, but the first fan who picks the winner of this race before then gets a large 3-topping Domino's pizza, carry out only from any Domino's store in the United States of America.
It looks like Ivan Garcia is actually going to stay out, so maybe he got his pit stop in before that caution.
That's going to definitely change the starting lineup here for the restart. I think the lights are probably off on the pace truck, so we're going to have Ivan Garcia in that number 72. He started 23rd, looks like, and he's moved his way all the way up to the lead position. He's in that Tide Ride, the number 72 Chevrolet Silverado. Starting second, we're also going to have James Ross in that number 51 Peak Daughter painted truck. We got Shane Pearson, the Serve Pro Toyota Tundra, starting third. Gary Sexton Hexcom Toyota Tundra will be starting fourth. Giovante Bramante, a little bit slower than normal pit stop for his group, but I'm sure they're going to shake it off and get him back out quicker next time. He'll be restarting fifth. Tyler Chalk in the Southeast Motorsports Tundra starting sixth. David Wright will be starting seventh. William Lackler, haven't talked much about him tonight. He's having a good run. He'll be restarting eighth. Blake Griffin in the 2. HMS Solutions Silverado starting ninth. And 10th will be Jack Watts restarting here in 10th.
Garcia, the control car here, or the control truck here, I should say, on this restart. See if James Ross is able to get on the loud pedal at the same time as he is and get that run down and drive around the outside in turns number 1 and 2, or will the 81 of Shane Parrish get the advantage? We're about to find out. Pace car is about to pull off. Green flag is in the air. Ivan Garcia gets quite the jump, and it looks like Shane Parrish not quite able to get the jump that he needed. So James Ross is still second position on the outside, but Garcia gets clear by about 3 truck lengths headed down to turn number 1.
Yeah, I tell you what, those old tires are really going to show their wear right now as we see the 51 of James Ross battling back on the outside. Those 4 tires of Ivan Garcia just cannot hang in that corner against the brand new fresh tires the rest of the field's got. So that'll put James Ross in the 51 back to the lead. Looks like Gary Sexton, who got a great restart, has moved up to the second position. Right now it looks like the 89 of Giovante and Shane Parrish both are looking to get around the 72, and they do get around. Go ahead.
Oh, and it looks like they're 3 wide back there in front of Eric Stanford. They get it single filed out. It looks like that was Jack Watts, the 11 of William Davis, and Judd Danielson. They're all tight together, and it looks like Judd Danielson got a little bit loose coming off the corner there.
Yes, he probably lost a couple of positions. A lot of these trucks are running that high lane, especially in the middle and coming off of these corners. They can almost hold these trucks wide open going around here with brand new tires on them, and they are definitely gaining speed as they're coming to the front stretch. The trucks are up to 184, 186, 187, 189, right at 190 going into the corner.
And Eric Stanford, his number 24 machine, looking below the number 66 of Jack Watts. He clears him for that 11th position and setting his sights on Judd Danielson. Like William Davis just cleared the 07 of Tyler Chalk. So Tyler Chalk has lost a lot of positions. He was scored in the 5th position last lap. It's like he's lost quite a few. Judd Danielson looking below him now. So not sure what happened with the 07 machine.
I think he might have just grazed the wall. I'm watching that replay right now. He gets up to the wall, actually just barely kisses it. I think he's going to be just fine as Judd Danielson does get around it.
Judd Danielson just barely clears him into turn number 1 there in his Heartland Tire Chevy. Eric Stanford follows him in his Pepsi Toyota, and Chalk continues to drop through the field right now, and it looks like, I'm not sure if Eric Stanford is going to be able to make the pass here into turn number 3. That seems to be where a lot of these trucks are making passes, is on the bottom in turn number 3. That's just exactly what Stanford does. He gets clear, and like Stanford has clawed his way up into the top 10, so see if he can make his way up any farther. He's one of those guys who's really good at saving tires, and qualified not the best here, 15th, but has made his way up inside the top 10, so look for him to keep making progress.
Yes, and another big move of William Locklear, that number 4. He just moved up 1 position as he gets around Shane Parrish in the Serve Pro truck. So right now, William Locklear is having a great run. He started 10th. He's all the way up to 4th position. He's got a great looking paint job on his truck, the Gold Silverado. Other big movers so far since the beginning of the race, other than William Locklear, we've got David Wright, started 12th. He is up to 6th. William Davis in that number 11 started 16th. He's up to 8th. Judd Danielson started 13th up to 9th. Eric Stanford started 15th. He's up to 10th. So we got a lot of big movers, and our good friend Mark Jackson started 20th. He's all the way up to 13th as we come up to lap 35. This race is a third of the way through, and these guys are already trying to figure out fuel strategy with the calculators, the crew chief down there on pit road, because this does look like it might be a long green flag race tonight.
And Gary Sexton in the 17 machine, he's staying as close as anybody has been able to all night. He's 0.4 of a second back right now of leader James Ross, but the next truck back is William Locklear. He's 2.5 seconds back of the leader. So Gary Sexton started in the 6th position, and on that first run he had to try and make it. And somebody just blew up. That looks like that was the number 98 of Andrew Kessler. He got his truck prepared as much as he could, but looks like he just lost the engine in that number 98. Aegis Motorsports Toyota Tundra. But back to Gary Sexton. He's been the only one that's been able to stay up there on a decent 10 to 20 lap run so far. I'm jinxing him. He's just fell back another tenth of a second there. It's almost at 0.6 of a second now is what the gap is, but we'll see if these guys behind them can make their way back up towards Gary Sexton. But I know Gary is one of those guys who's really been working on saving his tires as well. So
yeah, looks like the 9 of Chad Payne just had an issue, hit the wall 2-3 times. He kept it up in that area, and the trucks behind him, including the number 1 of James Somke and the number 6 of Gerald Campbell, were able to get around the Office HQ Chevy Silverado of Chad Payne.
There goes Blake Griffith, the number 2 Align HSM Solutions Chevy Silverado. He gets below the number 11 of William Davis, clears him in turn number 1. Will William Davis go for the crossover? And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. They're 3 wide with David Wright on the outside. And it looks like William Davis might have checked up a little bit there and pulled back up in front of the 85 machine of Jed Danielson. But Griffith and David Wright are side by side. David Wright, he's got one of the best looking machines out there, by the way. That purple Triad Computer Works Chevy Silverado. So always like the paint job on that one. And it looks like Shane Parrish trying to make a move up in front of them or on the outside of the number 4 of William Locklear.
Yes, sir. Those guys are racing hard for every square inch of this track and every position they can get. And I'm looking back up front, Curtis. It looks like the 17 of Gary Sexton is 6, almost 0.7 of a second behind the leader of James Ross as they come to the start-finish line here. We were going to see the interval, but we've got a caution. Yep, we'll get that pulled up here in just a minute, fans.
Yeah, it looks like Chad Payne gets up into the wall on the backstretch, bounces off it, tries to keep it up there. I'm not sure why that would have triggered the caution, though. He did slow down quite a bit below race pace, but didn't spin around the wrong way or anything. But nonetheless, caution here on lap 37.
Yes, sir. He got loose, went to correct it. He did save that. He slowed down, but he came to a stop almost right on the racing surface. I'm pretty sure that's what caused the caution. So, fans, we're going to take this real quick time to have one commercial break. We'll be back in about a minute. Don't go anywhere, fans. You got plenty of time to get your pick in for the free pizza. If you just joined us, we'll give you all the details on how to get that pick in. Again, you're watching the Scoops Ice Cream 200 live on All-Pro Broadcasting. We'll be right back.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Scoops Ice Cream 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. We got a quick interview real quick with one of our drivers who's having a great run tonight. David Wright, Robert and Curtis in the broadcast booth. You got a good looking truck tonight, the Triad Computer Works Silverado 42. How'd your truck feel, and what do you think your chances are of getting a win tonight?
Robert, Curtis, truck feels really good. It's really good on the long run. I've got short run speed too, so I've actually been kind of cautious and checking up. Didn't want to get into anybody early in the race. Got to be around at the end, so chances are good if I can just find the line. It's a tight line here, so there's not a lot of room for movement, and the longer that you go, the harder it is.
Yes, sir. We'll let you get back to it. Good luck.
10-4. Thank you, Robert.
All right, Curtis, one more time, I think we're going to give our fans on this restart another taste of the Domino's TYJ Racing All-Pro Broadcasting Crank It Up. As they come out of the corner, the pace car is about to, looks like they're actually still going down the back stretch, Curtis. Before we do get to the restart, who are some of the biggest movers on those pit stops that you noticed?
Well, I noticed that the 44 machine of Ray Richard, he did stay out to lead a lap. Other than that, it looks relatively close to what the running order was before. I don't think anybody really gained or lost much.
Yeah, some of these last trucks are coming back onto the racing surface, lining up at the back of the pack here as the pace car Ford Mustang GT goes through turns 3 and turns 4. These drivers are going to have one more opportunity to see what they can do with the leaders and get around them. And as the Ford Mustang pace car pulls off, fans, turn up your stereo system and enjoy this Crank It Up All Pro Broadcasting style. pickup segment. These trucks have been in a big gaggle from about 3rd, 4th, 5th through about 10th or 12th position. Curtis, what are you seeing?
I was watching the 11 of William Davis charge up through the field. He's made his way up to the 3rd position. A little bit of contact that last lap. He headed into turn number 3 with the 89 of Giovanni Bramanti, but he's made his way up into the 3rd position. He made a huge move, 3 wide pass into coming off of turn number 4, but it looks like Shane Parrish looking to take away that 3rd position from him right now. He's side by side. They're headed down the front stretch. Who's gonna get the position at the line? Looks like it's gonna be the number 81 of Shane Parrish grabs onto the 3rd position for the time being. Not quite clear. Like
yeah, thank you, Curtis.
Headed into turn number 1. Will William Davis pull the crossover move, headed down the back stretch? Looks like he's going to try it. He gets to the inside, and this is allowing the number 42 of David Wright, who we just talked to pull back up here a little bit. And David's made his way up into the top 5, and he's gaining a little bit on that 11 of William Davis, and Shane Parrish is cleared William for that position. So it's like David Wright might have the run to get to the outside of the number 11 of William Davis here. Davis is going to have to keep it on the bottom. The number 42 of David Wright going to try the crossover just like Davis tried the last lap on the 81 of Shane Parrish. Or is he? Doesn't look like he's going to do it. And
yes, real quick.
Sorry, they've got William Locklear and Tyler Chalk right behind them. So guys can't battle it out side by side for too long. They're 2 by 2 right now.
Yes, sir, Curtis. William Davis, real quick, a Domino's driver profile, is driving that number 11 Owens Well Service. Will Davis is from Augusta, Georgia. His race team is Cross Continent Racing. He's been in sim racing 3 years. He does have 14 years of real world racing experience. Class C iRacing Fixed Division 5 truck champion 2016 and a Georgia State karting champion in 2001. Quick reminder, fans, you've got about a lap and a half to get your pick in for the free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. Real quick, how that works is the first fan to accurately predict one driver to win this race by halfway, which is in about a lap and a half, lap 50. That fan will win a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. All you have to do is text 919-883-7497, or if you're watching on your device, comment in the live chat.
And it looks like still the only person who can really stay close enough within striking distance is the number 17 of Gary Sexton. He's 0.6 of a second back right now, 51 of James Ross. And the gap only seems to grow slightly, ever so slightly every lap. So I think Sexton is probably going to have to try some sort of short pit strategy if they get around to green flag pit stops here. And it's going to be interesting to see what these guys pull for a strategy, because we went back green flag on, what was it, lap 42, I do believe, 43 is when we went back green flag, so that's not enough fuel for these guys, I don't think, to make it on one more stop. And if they have to make 2, then they could, anytime they get inside that window where they can make it on one more stop, they can pit.
Yes, and that's exactly what some of these drivers are going to do. They're going to try to use the best strategy they can and take some advantage, get some kind of help to get a top 3 finish. Obviously, we're just a few weeks away from the start of the 2017 Domino's TYJ Racing League Vintage Fender Truck Chase Playoffs, which you do not want to miss any of those races. So these guys are desperate and hungry to get a win tonight.
Looking at the 07 machine of Tyler Chalk, he's battling side by side with the number 11 of William Davis, and it looks like the number 4 of William Locklear, and he's got Davis pushing him down the back stretch, and looks like he clears Locklear into turn number 3. And Blake Griffith actually pulls side by side with the number 11 of William Davis. So Griffith trying to make his way back up into the top 5 where he started. And he does make the pass on that number 11 of William Davis, but Davis looking to get the run on the outside. Griffith is going to have to keep it on the bottom. The 11 has got the run on the outside, down the backstretch, headed into turn number 3. And can Griffith drive it in deep enough to get clear before they hit turn 4? It looks like he can. Move Blake Griffith up. I think he holds on to that 8th position with that move.
Yes, that was a great move. We've seen that.
7th position, sorry.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time again. One driver will make a bold move to get a position, and the very next lap, sometimes the very next lap on the same corner, that same driver will do a crossover, so to speak, and get the position back, which is exactly what we just saw.
Yeah, Davis looking to the inside again, and it looks like he's actually going to pull it back up. But by the way, guys, coming on to lap number 54 here, pizza giveaway ended about 4 laps ago, so hopefully you got your pick in. Good luck. James Ross has led a lot of the race tonight, and I know he's been picked, so I think there's a pretty good shot, but this could turn into a fuel strategy game, so I could be wrong on that. I mean, James Ross is going to be using probably close to the most fuel out of anyone. He's driving the fastest, so he's not going to be able to save as much as some of these other guys. And I just don't know if he's going to have enough time to drive back up through the field if he has to make an extra pit stop compared to even a quarter of these guys. So we'll see if some of these guys might be trying to stretch it and make it on one stop. I think they got to make it to at least lap 72 before they pit, or they're just not going to make it to the end.
Yeah, that's a good point. If they are a master at saving fuel like Mark Jackson, he might can come down on lap 70 and be okay. And we're going to do another quick Domino's driver profile for Eric Stanford. He is driving that number 24 Pepsi Cola. Looks like the Chevrolet Silverado. Toyota Tundra, my bad, sorry for that, fans. Eric Stanford, he is from Glenfield, New York. His race team is ES Motorsports. One of his main sponsors is ES Billiards, although he's got Pepsi on the truck tonight, the choice of a new generation. And of course, that's another one of his main sponsors. Eric is having a fantastic run tonight. Started back in 15th, he's up to 11th. And Curtis, your guess is as good as mine is which one of these drivers can save enough fuel to make it on one more pit stop. It's going to be very exciting to see what strategy wins out tonight.
Gary Sexton not quite able to hold the gap on the number 51 of James Ross, and it looks like Shane Parrish is actually reeling in the 17 machine a little bit, so look for a side-by-side battle in the next couple laps between the 81 and the 17. Serv Pro versus Ad Pro is what it's going to be. They're both in Toyota Tundras, and Shane Parrish trying to track down that 2nd position, and maybe Shane has found a little bit of speed, trying to see if Shane is able to close that gap at all in the 51 of James Ross, if and when he can get around that number 17 of Gary Sexton. I do believe he's closed the gap quite a bit on that number 17 machine, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gary just didn't put up too much of a fight to try and maybe save a little bit of time and still be able to make a short pit strategy and get out in front of the 51.
Yeah, I tell you what, Curtis, that's a great observation on your part. Another thing that these drivers are going to have to keep in mind, if we do stay green here, and these drivers do have to make a green flag pit stop, I'm pretty sure they're going to need 4 fresh Goodyear Eagle tires. Some guys might try to take 2, but I think with as many laps as they're going to have on these tires, if they have any chance at all of not losing 10 or 15 positions, they're going to have 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles. And that's all part of the pit strategy call the crew chief is going to have to make here. Obviously, the spotters up in the spotter stands are doing an excellent job for these drivers today. Only had 1 caution so far, and James Ross is definitely the class of the field. Again, fans, you are watching the Scoops Ice Cream 200 from Vieira, Florida. Scoops Ice Cream, making family traditions, 1 scoop at a time. Curtis Young is in the booth with me. We want to thank Michael Pico for all these incredible camera angles, and All-Pro Broadcasting. Make sure, fans, if you are watching on your device, you click the subscribe button to get all of the alerts for all of our races. As we give a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza away every time we have a winner on Wednesday and Thursday night, so you want to make sure you tune in tomorrow night around 8:50 as well. That'll be your next chance if you don't win it tonight. We will update and announce the winner of the free pizza tonight after we interview the driver, so do not tune out for that, because you want to hear your name called if you're the one who wins that free pizza.
Update on the number 89 of Giovanni Bromanti, who's running up inside the top 5 all night. Had that little incident with the number 11 of William Davis, and he's sitting back in the 12th position right now, so hasn't quite been able to make his way back up through the field. Not sure if his tires got a little messed up when that happened and needs a new set on there to make anything work, but doesn't look like he's moving up that fast, and he's to the inside of the 85 of Judd Danielson right now. I think Judd is maybe letting him by. He knows he's a bit faster than what he is right now, and he's actually trying to make a pass on the 66 of Jack Watts too, and huge gaggle of trucks in front of them. They're battling hard. Looks like the 24 of Eric Stanford making a pass on Jack Watts as well, and the two Williams have been side by side for about 3 laps in front of them, so looks like Davis might get clear of Locklear this time, headed out of turn number 4. And they all single file out. Still Jack Watts side by side with the 85 of Judd Danielson.
Yeah, that 11 and 4 battle you're just talking about, William Locklear and Will Davis. These drivers, like I said before, are trying to gain every position they can. They were 2 and 3 wide the lap before. Looks like they have straightened it out. Gio Bramante was able to clear the 66 pad, Southeast Motorsports number 66, Jack Watts. And Judd Danielson is right in the mix as well. He's got that over-the-top paint, as a matter of fact, with the Heartland Tire, brand new sponsor on the truck, on the hood of his truck. Looks like the 24. Eric Stanford just talked about him a minute ago. Looks like he just grazed the wall there just for a minute. He had to get out of the gas. He lost a lot of momentum. And actually, I don't think he hit the wall. He had to get out of the gas to avoid that. He got passed by the 89 of Gio Bramante, the 66, the 85 of Judd Danielson. So Jack Watts, Judd Danielson, and now looks like the 6
gets up into the wall or gets real tight. I think he got up into the wall by the pace that he slowed down at.
Yes, he got into the wall, slowed down like I was just saying. About the 24 of Eric Stanford, Blake Griffith got into the wall a little bit, and he's lost 2, 3, 4 positions. So I tell you what, Curtis, these guys are driving these trucks as hard as they can, trying to gain as many positions as they can.
Yeah, it looks Blake Griffith actually just lost about 9 to 10 positions, falls back to the 14th position that time by, and looks like he actually has quite a bit of damage on that machine. So I think he got up into the wall with the right side and then got rear-ended by somebody.
Getting up here a little bit further in the pack, looks like we got David Wright. He's actually clear to go. Behind him we have Gio Bramante and William Locklear battling as they come out of the corner. Turn number 4 as they scream down the front stretch here. It's going to be a drag race. Who's going to get a push? Looks like Gio Bramante is able to clear William Locklear, and he will come across the start-finish line in that 5th position, looks like.
So Gio Bramante has gained about 7 positions in the last 2 to 3 laps. About 3 laps ago, I just said that he wasn't moving up that fast. He was behind the 85 of Judd Danielson. Oh, and it looks like there was contact behind them. They're wrecking on the backstretch. 24 of Eric Stanford is around.
Yeah, the 24 Pepsi machine of Eric Stanford just barely got into the back of the 85 Judd Danielson. Looks like behind them we also have got Mark Jackson got a little bit of damage. The 24 does an incredible job of saving that, as he does not come back up on the racing service. But 85 of Judd Danielson has got some heavy damage, as well as the number 3, one of our favorite, who's already been picked tonight, of Mark Jackson. These drivers are going to have some beaten defenders out on the next pit stop. That's why we call this the Dominus TYJ Racing Dented Fender Series.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to spell disaster for the 85 and the 3 machine. The 24, I'm not sure if he kept it going. He's actually brought it down pit lane, so sitting in his pit box right now. Not sure how much damage he going to be in there repairing, but right sides are up on his Pepsi machine. Left sides are now up, and I'm sure he won't be pulling away as soon as jack drops. And yeah, he's going to sit there and repair some damage and probably wind up finishing a few laps down here tonight. So unfortunate for the number 24, Eric Stanford. Judd Danielson, he brought his truck down pit road too, so not sure. We'll see if Judd decides to repair some damage or if he's just going to try and salvage a lead lap finish. Going to be pretty tough here with over 30 laps to go, and then he does. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's not going to repair any damage. Maybe pit crew tells him that it's not as bad as he thinks, and off he goes. So that's Judd's call. He's going to run it out and try and just stay on the lead lap here. And like I said, it's going to be pretty tough. 33 laps to go here. His truck's probably going to be at least a half a second to a second off the pace of what a perfectly clean truck can run. And
yes, sir. Real quick, Curtis. Shane Pearson, that number 81 Surf Pro, did get around Gary Sexton in that Hexcom machine. They were racing hard, but Gary let him go, and now we'll see if Shane Parrish can track down our leader, James Ross, in that number 51 Peak Antifreeze Toyota Tundra. Back there in third, we've got David Wright, in fourth. Gary Sexton's in third. We've got Gio Ramonte. Like you said, he has gained a lot of positions in the last 10 laps or so. Gio is our birthday boy for tonight. He's driving that Toyota Aegis-sponsored. It's got to be a Toyota, absolutely. Behind Gio, we got William Locklear, having another good run up to 6. Talked about him earlier. William Davis had almost a spin earlier, caught it a couple laps back. He's in that Owens Well Service Chevy Silverado. He's in 7th. Jack Watts in that number 66 Southeast Motorsports Chevrolet Silverado with Pat on the back deck. He's in 8th. And Gerald Campbell in that veteran of Foreign Wars number 6 machine is trying to get around him. Going through these corners, Curtis, you can explain to the fans what a driver has to do to set up the driver in front of him before the pass. Did he set that up the corner before?
Yeah, really you want to try and just enter a little bit higher than they do, and try and get the run, a bigger run than they do, get to their inside and just, or get to the outside. Looks like
yes, sir.
It looks like a lot of drivers are calling their way down pit road. I just saw Eric Stanford pull off, so he's pulled his machine.
Yeah, Gary Sexton, the 17 Hexcam, is coming in his pit box. We're going to follow him as he gets in his pit box perfectly. He almost overshoots it. The right sides are going up. He's going to get 2 right Goodyear Eagles as 1 can of Sunoco fuel goes in. Jack's down. Yes, they're going around the left side. They're getting 2 more on the left, and a 2nd can of Sunoco Racing full fuel. They're going to pack it solid, and Gary Sexton is off.
Yeah, Jeff T. Martin, Vernon Margheim, William Davis, and Jack Watts also down pit lane. So that's probably going to force these leaders down pit lane pretty soon. But for the time being, James Ross and Shane Parrish still out on the track, and Shane Parrish has been maintaining the gap to James Ross. So maybe Shane Parrish has figured something out, and I think he's going to need to pit here pretty soon, though, to try and gain some time on the 51 truck of James Ross and put himself in a position where he can just try and keep himself in front. And it looks like James Ross is actually coming down pit lane this time. We'll see what the 81 does.
Yep, the 51.
Yeah, so the 81 and the 51 are both coming down pit lane. Right now they were our 2 leaders, and we'll see which one of them comes out of pit lane first. I'm sure it'll be the 51 of James Ross, as he's quite a number of truck lengths ahead of the 81 here, but we'll see if there's any mistakes entering the pit box. The 81 stops in perfectly, as does the 51, so see what the gap is at the stripe next time by between those 2 drivers.
Yes, sir, Curtis, thank you. And that does turn the lead over to our good friend Giovanni Bramante and that number 89 Aegis-sponsored Toyota. Behind him, yet to pit as well, it looks like the 6 of Gerald Campbell. Just as I say that, both of those drivers are coming down pit road as we speak, as well as the 44 of Ray Richard. So like you said, you called it, Curtis. Those first few down pit road turned the hand of these other drivers as we're watching them maneuver traffic It's amazing how much faster 4 tires are on these trucks than old tires.
Yeah, and here comes Gary Sexton inside the 81 of Shane Parrish. I was going to see if Shane was able to do something and catch up to the number 51, but he's getting caught up by a little bit of lap traffic behind the, or not lap traffic, but just vehicles that haven't pitted yet that are a lot slower. And you got the number 17 of Gary Sexton, I guess, his pit stop just, he timed it perfectly where he got the run on the inside of the number 81, and that slowed down the 81 machine a bit. The gap now between James Ross and Shane Parrish, I believe, is about 1.7 seconds or 1.6 seconds, so it stayed about even. Shane Parrish looks like he's lost a couple tenths.
Yeah, real quick, Gerald Campbell and that number 73 is on pit road. He inherited the lead and stayed out to lead 1 lap or so. One of the smartest racers in Dominus TYJ Racing. Seems like he always finds a way to lead a lap. He's getting his pit service done now. 4 brand new fresh Goodyear Eagles, 2 cans of Sunoco racing fuel. So that'll be.
Yeah, it looks like everything has cycled back through pretty much. James Ross is leading the race again. Shane Parrish 1.8 seconds back. Gary Sexton 2 seconds back, so the short pit didn't quite work for the 17 machine. He gained about 0.8 of a second, but he's got a lap or 2 older tires, and he it's a little bit of a disadvantage versus the 81 now, who is a little bit better on the long run as it was. So I think it's going to be a battle between him and David Wright for that 3rd position as it sits right now, but Shane Parrish has got some work to do if he wants to catch up to the 51.
Yes, sir, Curtis, says that cycle of pit stops under green is completed. James Ross sits back to the lead, followed by Shane Parrish. Gary Sexton, that 17. We got David Wright up in 4th position. He's been flirting with a win all year long, Curtis. Every single week he does seem to get better. He's got a top 3 finish, I know, at least 1 or 2 so far this year. So we'll see if David Wright doesn't have something for these leaders up front. Looks like we got some. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, James Ross has been so consistent all season and here tonight that 2 seconds is a big gap for Shane Parrish to try and demolish just in about 23 laps that we got left here. And I mean, that pretty much means he's going to have to gain a 10th a lap, and he just hasn't been that much faster than the 51 has all night. If anything, James Ross has been half a tenth to a tenth faster per lap, and Shane Parrish has just been able to maintain that gap for most of the time, but he's just been losing a little bit ever so slightly. And I think there's going to need to be a caution, and it's going to have to fall at a really bad time to take this race away from the number 51.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, he was on pit road as well as some of the other leaders on a lap that's going to make them have to possibly save a little bit of fuel here. Some of the drivers we did hear from in the communications could go only 25, 26 laps, whereas others could go 28, 29, or 30. And being one of the fastest trucks on the track, I am sure that James Ross in that 51 is using as much fuel as he normally would at his fast pace. And I'm not so sure he's got enough fuel to make it to the end. He might have to start lifting going into the corners. He might be trying to build that lead up right now as big as he can. But I don't think it's a sworn conclusion that the guys who pitted on lap 70 or 72 will be able to make it. We'll definitely have to keep monitoring this situation to see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I said before. Is that I'm just not sure. They've been green flagged since lap 42, so I think they can make it. Most of these guys pitted around 70 to 72. That's 28 to 30 laps on that last run, so I think these guys are good on fuel, but some, like you said, some of these guys are going to be using a little bit more than others just naturally by the race pace that they're driving compared to some of these other guys.
Yes, sir, Curtis, and while we've got the chance, Gary Sexton, that number 17, Hexcam Toyota, do another quick Domino's driver profile. Gary is from Colorado Springs, Colorado. His race team is Cross Continent Racing. His sponsors are Paradigm Technology, Hexcam Camouflage, Seasons Pizza, Celestron Telescopes, Overdrive Raceway Karting. And he's having a great run tonight. He's been in sim racing for only a year. That's pretty surprising. He does not have any real-world racing experience. You wouldn't know it by how fast he is in these trucks and cars every week. He'd like to give special thanks to all the fans. All-Pro Broadcasting, Cross Country Racing, Judd Danielson, also David Washington, and he is definitely helping his son Julian is watching this race right now. I'm sure his wife has got Julian right in front of the TV or whatever they're watching, and they are rooting on the number 17 of Gary Sexton.
Yeah, and he just held off a charge from the 42 of David Wright. David Wright was trying to take away that third position from him, so Gary knows he's there, and he was able to hold him off, and looks like David Wright probably got tight trying to get below him, and he fell back about 5 to 6 truck lengths, so the gap still is about the same between the 51 and the 81. Looking for other battles on the track right now. Looks like a lot of these guys are, looks like basically everybody actually is single filed out, and that's going to make for, it's going to be tough for a caution to come out for these guys if they're all single filed, not battling too hard. None of these guys have too much pressure on them. It just makes them drive a little bit less hard, and they don't overdrive it up into the wall. So that's, I think, what we've seen cause both cautions, I think, that we've had here tonight. I think we've only had 2, maybe 3, but Gio Bromanti, I'm not sure if he had a mistake on his pit stop, but he had made his way back up into the 5th position, and he's back in 9th again, so I'm sure he'll be able to drive his way back up there. Maybe not, he's got quite the gap actually to get back up there. I think he might have got a penalty because he's got back about 5 seconds from the 5th place driver of William Davis. So
yeah, that's exactly what he did the last run, though. That might be a strategy call he's making right now to save his stuff and a little bit of fuel, and then come on strong with about 15 or 20 laps to go. We were looking at the number 33 of Vernon Margam. Haven't talked about him much tonight. He started in 18th as he's going around the number 9 office HQ of Chad Payne right now. Vernon Margam, quick Domino's driver profile. He is driver of the number 33. He is from Greenwood, Indiana, Vernon is. His sponsors are GTRsimulator.com, IndianaDiesel.com, Young & Sons. And he's got that Young & Sons on the hood of the car right now. That Toyota Tundra 66. He's been in sim racing 4 years. He's got real-world racing experience. He raced hobby stocks and street stocks in the state of Washington. He was actually the Washington State Yakima Speedway champion of street stocks. He has got 1 hobby championship in 1999, and he's got 1 demolition derby win in 1995, many seconds and third finishes over his career in real racing, and it's great to see those real drivers in the Domino's TYJ Racing League, whether it's in the Denton Truck Series, the Premier Xfinity Series, or the Top Shelf Cup Series. Again, fans, you are watching the Scoops Ice Cream 200 live on All-Pro Broadcasting here at Michigan International Speedway. These drivers are putting on one heck of a show as they're keeping it clean and green. Again, Scoops Ice Cream from Vieira, Florida, making family traditions, one scoop at a time. Again, we want to thank Michael D'Amico with All-Pro Broadcasting for these great camera angles. I've just seen a few myself on some of the replays, and this is going to be one you definitely want to watch all the way to the end, especially to find out if you win that free pizza.
And a change for the 3rd position, David Wright, the number 42 Triad Computer Works Chevrolet. He just got around the number 17 of Gary Sexton, so Gary Sexton back to the 4th position. We'll see if he can make his way back around the number 42. We're coming into the back half of this tire run, and this is when you're really going to see trucks start to fall off and drivers start to make mistakes as the truck just doesn't drive near the same as what it does at the beginning of the run. Starts doing things that you wouldn't really expect it to do. So
yeah, I've seen it a couple times tonight already, Curtis. These trucks, after about 20 laps on the tires, especially coming off of turn 2, they want to get super loose. Luckily, Michigan here is paved all the way down on the inside. Most of these drivers have got plenty of skill and talent. Once they feel that truck get loose, they're able to correct it. But at the same time, some drivers, it gets loose, snappy loose so fast, they go right around and sometimes come back up in the racing service. So hopefully we stay green here to the end of the race and see who can make it as far as fuel goes. and who can handle these trucks with worn out tires on them.
Yeah, it's really just when you get too much wheel into it that the back end seems to want to come around. So you pretty much have to save your tires quite a bit as it is here just to even keep the truck stable. It's can get pretty loose at times. This long wheelbase of the trucks, they can just make the truck want to come around a lot easier than a lot of the other cars here on iRacing, and that's what makes them unique to drive. But it looks like the 42 is gapping pulled away about 3 to 4 truck lengths on the 17 of Gary Sexton. Gary Sexton, he's got Ad Pro on that truck, iWraps, Hex Cam, so lots of sponsors, Cross Continent Racing, All Pro Broadcasting Network. So 17 machine to Gary Sexton, he's got lots of support behind him. We'll see if he can make his way back into the top 3.
I tell you what, one indication already we're hearing from Doug Danielson, that number 85 Heartland Tire machine. Looks like he got into the wall just a little bit. He's got a little bit of damage here and there, a little bit of damage on the rear, but he is maintaining that 15th position. He started 13th. He's only lost 2 positions, but he is 1 lap down the second truck. Looks like Ralph Vandervoort, that 166, is the first truck 1 lap down as we speak. So if we do get a caution, Ralph will be the driver to actually get that lap back. But right now, it is definitely all James Ross and that number 51. No surprise at all. Looks like Shane Parrish in that 81 Surf Pro truck is doing everything he can to dig into the lead there. James has got about a 2-second lead. Fans, we do have about 10 laps to go. Coming up on 9 laps to go, so it'll be really interesting if we do not get a caution. What will happen? What will happen with fuel? Looks like, go ahead, Curtis.
I was just going to say, I think these guys can make it. Judging by what they did on their last fuel run, I think there's no question that these guys can make it on fuel, but crazier things have happened. Gap still maintaining between the 81 and the 51, so 81 actually just lost a 10th. So Shane Parrish is giving it all he's got, but sometimes that makes you give it a little bit too much and lose a little bit. So that's probably exactly what just happened to the 81 there. But he's safely pretty much sitting in the second position. Unless he makes some sort of colossal mistake, David Wright and Gary Sexton are within striking distance, but other than that, I think he is safely inside the top 5 and looking for some battles, and it looks like it's a close battle between William Locklear, Gerald Campbell, and William Davis right now for the 4th through 6th position. Jack Watts is right in the mix as well.
I tell you what, yes, these drivers are trying to get every position. You could almost throw a blanket over them right there. As it looks like they cross the start-finish line, we're going to be coming to 6 laps to go here.
Still side by side, the 11 machine and the number 6 of Gerald Campbell. Gerald Campbell's on the inside. William Davis on the outside. Davis has got the advantage headed down into turn number 3, but Campbell has got the preferred line. We'll see if he can make it work coming out at turn number 4. Campbell has now got the advantage coming out of turn 4. He clears them, put Gerald Campbell up to that 5th position, and looks like Davis actually has Jack Watts working to his inside now, but Watts not giving up on, but Davis not giving up on the outside. Sorry.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, he was clear. Gerald Campbell was clear by about 1-2 by 4 in front of that number 11 machine of Will Davis, and William is definitely going to try to battle back. He does have one. His good friends Jack Watson, the 66, maybe helping him draft down this backstretch. We'll see if those guys can get back around Gerald Campbell. Not missing anything up front. We do have Shane Parrish in that 2nd position, the number 81 Surf Pro. He's putting Ivan Garcia a lap down as Ivan does a great job staying out of the way, up close to the wall, but keeping his truck clean. And I tell you who I'm really impressed with, Curtis, tonight. Not that I don't didn't see it coming, but David Wright is having an excellent run. He's up to third position. Something happens to the first two drivers in this race, he's going to be waiting to jump and get his first victory in Dominance TYJ Racing. He's been with us for almost a year now, and he always puts on a good race. A lot of times he's at the wrong end of bad luck on these races, but tonight it's looking great for David Wright in that number 42.
A little update on the number 15 machine and Jeff T. Martin. He was involved in earlier incident. Oh, and I jinxed him. He gets up into the wall, and he might go around and cause a caution. It looks like he's going to keep it straight. But yeah, a little update on him. As you just saw, he just drove it up into the wall and almost went around, but that pretty much sums up his night. He was involved in an earlier incident with the number 98 of Andrew Kessler and is running back in the 17th position. Don't think that's really going to hurt him much. He's actually got Ray Richer that might be able to pass him coming up on his tail now, so see if Richer actually had a penalty that he had to serve as well. If you guys were wondering what happened to the 44 machine, he was running up there inside the top 10-15, and I do believe he sped on a green flag pit stop and just had to serve a penalty and wasn't able to ever get his lap back, so that's unfortunate for the 44 of Ray Richer there.
I tell you what, Curtis, I just heard that number 2 is going to have to stop for a splash of fuel. Judd Danielson, that number 85 Heartland Tire machine is coming off the pit road. He had to stop for a splash of fuel. I tell you what, with a couple and a half laps to go around this 2-mile oval, it's going to be interesting to see who else is going to be able to make it and who else is going to have to come down pit road for a splash. This is going to make this finish very exciting because I do predict somebody will not make it.
Yeah, I think Judd Danielson actually pitted a little bit earlier. He was pretty much forced to because of that incident that he was caught up in, and as was Blake Griffith. I think he got some damage and decided to bring it down pit lane a little bit early, and thus forcing them to make an extra pit stop here. So I think your leaders are going to be good. It's going to be popsicle sticks this time by for the number 51 of James Ross. 2 laps to go.
I tell you what, his daughter is going to be one proud daughter, and he's going to be one proud father if he can bring that peak antifreeze special paint job. Yes, fans, his daughter did that for him this week. James Ross is a great, outstanding driver. We're very fortunate to have him part of Dominance TYJ Racing. Again, looking at that truck, it is pink. You can see the tire chunks coming off the tires. These tires are definitely old. James is in that 51 peak truck. He's coming to only have 1 lap to go. And like I said, his daughter painted that truck for him earlier this week. Looking great here in that pink antifreeze number 51. You guys try to say that 3 times fast.
White flag going to be displayed by the starter this time by. White flag is in the air for the Scoops Ice Cream 200 here from Michigan International Speedway. 200 miles, and it all comes down to this one final lap, and it's James Ross. He's out front by 2 seconds still over the number 81 of Shane Parrish.
I don't know if he
has led 777 laps coming into tonight, and I think he probably led at least 80 here tonight, so that's going to bring the number up to over 800. Dominant performance here for the 51 of James Ross in win number 8 on the year. James Ross goes to victory lane in Michigan.
Yes, congratulations on James finishing second. Shane Parrish, great run for him. Looks like David Wright is going to cross the line in third, another third place finish. But I tell you what, that was a great run. Who else has surprised you up front in the race there?
Really, I'm kind of surprised that looks like Shane Parrish and David Wright, they qualified 8th and 12th, so that's not so surprising, but Jeremy Crandall, he made his way up into the 12th position. He didn't even qualify. He started very dead last tonight, so good run for him as well, and yeah, looks like the 51 of James Ross is going to burn it down here at Michigan in his daughter's pink and blue peak paint scheme. So I don't know if it's too late for her to be up watching. I'm not sure how old she is, but I'm sure Daddy will show her the video of him doing some burnouts, taking that thing to victory lane. So we will run down the finishing order here while Robert gets these guys ready for interviews. And as you guys watch the 51 of James Ross burn it down, the 81 of Shane Parrish finishes the race here in second place. 42 of David Wright finishes third. Gary Sexton holds on for fourth position, and William Locklear is going to round out your top 5 in his number 4 machine. Gerald Campbell finishes 6th tonight, solid run for him in his number 6 machine. William Davis 7th, Jack Watts 8th. Gio Bromanti drives it back up to 9th position. Vernon Markheim rounds out your top 10 tonight in his number 33 machine. Tyler Chalk 11th, Jeremy Crandall 12th. That will round out your lead lap drivers there, and the 166 of Ralph Vandervorst finishes 13th, Chad Payne 14th, Blake Griffith 15th, Ray Richards 16th, Jeff T. Martin 17th, Judd Danielson brings it home P18 tonight, Ivan Garcia 19th, Sean Kalis 20th, Eric Stanford 21st. He was unfortunately involved in an earlier incident, ended his night a little bit early. Same with the number 3 of Mark Jackson. He finishes 22nd. James Somke 23rd, and rounding out your field tonight is Andrew Kessler.
Yeah, thank you, Curtis. I tell you what, we have caught up with some of these drivers. They all put on a very, very impressive show tonight. Fans, hang on for just a few more minutes to get these interviews done, and we'll let you know exactly who won that large pizza. Curtis, it looks like you have caught up with our third place finisher. We talked to him earlier, but here's the number 42 driver, David Wright. Take it away, Curtis.
Yeah, caught up with our third place finisher, the number 42 of David Wright. David, you started 12th tonight. Had a pretty good run going all night. Took you a little bit to work your way up into the top 5, but once you got up there, you never really left. And talk to us about that, the closing laps battle to get around the number 17 of Gary Sexton to grab onto the third position.
Gary's a tough customer, I can tell you that, and I just got lucky. And everybody, I'm gonna tell you what, this was a heck of a race tonight. There was some tight battles, especially right out of the pits on fresh tires. Everybody up front seemed to give each other some room, and two tough customers finished first and second, and I feel so fortunate and so gracious to get a third place tonight.
And anything you think could have maybe fell in your favor, something you could have done different to give the 51 and the 81 a little bit more of a run for their money?
I pitted as soon as I knew that I could get enough fuel to make it to the end, hoping for a green flag run. I only got one green flag lap before they pitted, so I was kind of hoping maybe to get a couple laps in there while they were still on old tires, but they pitted the very next lap, so that strategy didn't work out as well. But overall, good night. Got to thank Joey Manus, Triad Computer Works, Domino's TYJ, you guys in the booth. Great racing tonight. Great racing tonight. Long green runs, and that's what we like.
All right, David. Well, congratulations. We will let you go, and I think Robert has caught up with the number 81 of Shane Parrish, your second place finisher here tonight.
Yes, I sure have. I got over to the truck of Shane Parrish. Shane, you had a good run tonight. Looks like you started in 8th, and you made up 6 different positions, top 10 all night long. Looks like your pit stops were flawless. How did your race go, Shane?
Well, my race went really great. You know, I did a lot of changing this race, just trying to learn to sit back and be a lot more patient, not push the issue, run my line, definitely take the passes when I could, and just not push it, just not getting a wreck, and just trying to change my driving style, become a much more mature driver.
I tell you what, that is exactly what it takes to reel off these top 2, top 3 finishes. The winner's circle is right around the corner for you, Shane. I know it. Everybody has been watching you in these races. They know it. I know in your heart you know it. It's going to happen before you know it. And I won't say you know it one more time. Who are your sponsors you'd like to give thanks to tonight for this incredible run in second place?
Well, I definitely want to thank my sponsors, of course, the company I own, Serpro. You know, we are the fastest and best restoration company that's out there. We water, fire, smoke, mold, and biohazard cleanups. And I'd like to thank Aegis Racing for my team and thank my crew chief for being with me a lot this week, doing a lot of training, put in well over 1,000 laps this week, and been a great help. So the team Aegis come together for us, and have a top 1 and 2 here was pretty awesome to do.
Yes, sir. Congratulations, Shane. I'm sure all the fans can see you tomorrow night in the Domino's TYJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Series, live here on All Pro Broadcasting at Daytona International Speedway. It's going to be a night race. It's going to have a lot of these other drivers in the field, but not all of them. And we're going to have some of the best talent you're ever going to see in Domino's TYJ Racing. And Shane, I know you can give them all the competition they can stand. Good luck. Have a great week.
Thank you. You guys too.
And I think now Curtis is down in victory circle. He has caught up with our winner, and this is going to be a great interview. We want to hear something about how that paint job came to be. Curtis, you have found our winner tonight, James Ross.
Good, I want to paint your truck.
Yeah, and I've caught up with the 8-time winner here on the Domino's TYJ Dented Fender Truck Series, and the winner tonight here from Michigan, it's James Ross. And James, a little bit of a different look for you here tonight. You're, I think I actually just caught you talking about it as we pulled you in here. Got a pink and blue truck designed by your daughter, I do believe, correct?
Yeah, it's my daughter Brooke. She asked when Daddy was going to race on TV, and I told her it was tomorrow night. She says, well, can I paint a truck for it? Because I want to see it on TV. So, yeah, this beautiful pink and purple and teal monster is courtesy of my beautiful young daughter, Brooke.
I'm not sure if she's old enough to stay up and watch it or what time zone you're in, but parked it here tonight for her. 8th win on the season, as I said. Race went pretty smoothly for you. You qualified on the pole, and you had some pressure from at different points from a couple of different drivers, Gary Sexton, Gio Bromanti, but nobody was really able to mount a charge and make a pass on you. What was the key here tonight?
The key here tonight was just, taking care of the truck. I mean, the fall off here, the tire wear was pretty big. So, yeah, I mean, a couple of guys, Gio was real quick. He ran into some misfortune in the middle of the race. Shane obviously was very quick. Actually, he's maintaining the gap with me pretty much the whole run. Gary was quick, but seemed to fall off a little bit more. Yeah, the whole key here tonight was just taking care of the tires, taking care of the truck, and, it paid dividends, 12, 15 laps into the run.
All right, James, and as always, who would you like to thank?
Well, of course, I got to thank, Domino's TYJ Racing, Dented Fender Racing League. I got to thank All Pro Broadcasting. You guys always do a phenomenal job. I'm going to thank all my fellow racers here. Everybody raced clean. I mean, it's exciting to see a race where the truck got loose towards the end of the run with such good green flag runs. All my teammates over at Aegis, Andy, Gio, Sean, Shane. Big thanks, obviously, to David Washington, the guru, working with me every week and giving me the information we need, and of course my entire family.
All right, James. Well, congratulations. Win number 8 on the season. I'm sure you're going to be up over 850 laps led here this season as well. So closing in on the chase. Just 3 points races left. So you're easily locked into that. I'm sure you're just getting ready to get down to business. We'll let you go. Congratulations.
All right. Thanks a lot, Curtis.
All right. Thanks, James. I tell you what, this has been an exciting race. And I tell you what, we've got the large, free, three-topping Domino's Pizza winner. And you guessed it, it is Mama Patty. That would be, I'm assuming, grandmother of Mark Jackson. They had the whole family in there watching the race tonight. And each family member picked one person, but they all picked a different person to win this race. And Mama Patty is the winner of that large three-topping Domino's Pizza carryout only. They're probably going to enjoy that this weekend. And one other thing, fans and iRacers, the 2017 point standings for the Dented Fender Truck Series have already been posted in our closed Facebook group for all the drivers to see. I'm thinking, bar none, no other league out there has got a quicker points update system than Domino's TYJ Racing, and all the credit for that goes to a couple of very special people. Kevin Fetty races some of the non-point races here, known him for a couple of years, a great guy. Also, Judd Danielson was in this race tonight. He does the actual putting the information in, and the new update comes out, and I tell you what, these drivers are surprised. I'm shocked, and I've been working with both those guys for over 2 years now. but it just goes to show you being part of Domino's TYJ Racing has a lot of benefits. Curtis, what are your last takeaways tonight?
Pretty solid race overall. These guys got to make a green flag pit stop, and a couple cautions caused by basically pretty tough truck conditions towards the end of a run. But another James Ross night, 8 wins on the season, and he is looking as strong as he ever has headed down the back half of this season into the chase.
Yes, sir, Curtis, thanks a lot. And all these drivers know, once this truck chase starts in a few weeks here at Domino's TYJ Racing, live on All Pro Broadcasting, anything can happen. We're going to start the chase with 20 drivers eligible to win the championship and narrow it down over a couple of different stages. This was a great race. I really enjoyed it. I hope fans, you enjoyed it. I do want to mention one last time you were watching the Scoops Ice Cream 200. Scoops Ice Cream from Vieira, Florida, making family traditions one scoop at a time. We want to give a special shout out and thanks to Jeremy Crandall. He had a great run tonight as well. Looks like he brought his truck home in the 12th position, started 24th, so we appreciate him and his family that owns Scoops down there in Vieira. Again, for Michael D'Amico, Curtis Young, all the great camera angles, and all you fans, and all the other drivers, thanks for watching tonight. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern here. Same channel, All Pro Broadcasting, Domino's TYJ Racing. You do not want to miss the Top Shelf Cup race at Daytona. It is going to be one for the record books. Fans, have a great night. Sleep fast, work fast, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good one.
When my brothers laid my life down for others, and I would do it all over again. Break strong and proud and hollow ground, at peace with the greatest of men. 21 guns in the air.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
When Bentley was small, we noticed that there were several different things that he was doing differently. When doctors and specialists continue to tell you what is wrong with your child, you are in such a dark place. The therapists at UCP are amazing. They brought inspiration. They brought hope. Bentley has a fantastic relationship with UCP. And if we can continue this together, Bentley will be unstoppable.